Welcome to Ace My Exams Learning. Let us get started with today's learning.
Name any types of integration strategies. A business integration strategy is a plan that merges different aspects of a company's operations, resources, or entities to achieve specific goals like growth, efficiency, competitive advantage, or market expansion. These strategies may include internal consolidation or external mergers and acquisitions. Below are the types of integration strategies. 1. Forward vertical integration. Forward vertical integration strategy is a business approach in which a company expands its operations or control over the distribution channel by acquiring or merging with businesses downstream in the value chain, typically towards the end consumer. In simpler terms, it involves moving closer to the end consumer in the production and distribution process. This can include acquiring retail outlets, distribution channels, or other businesses involved in getting the product or service to the final consumer. Examples of forward vertical integration. Manufacturer opening retail stores. A clothing manufacturer decides to open its own chain of retail stores to sell its products directly to consumers. By doing so, the manufacturer cuts out intermediaries, such as wholesalers or department stores, and gains better control over pricing, branding, and customer interactions. Beverage company owning bottling plants. A beverage company acquires bottling plants or distribution centers to handle the packaging and distribution of its products directly. This allows the company to ensure product quality, streamline logistics, and respond more effectively to consumer demand. A technology company selling directly to consumers. A technology company bypasses traditional retail channels and sells its products directly to consumers through online platforms or company-owned stores. This enables the company to maintain tighter control over product presentation, customer service, and pricing strategies. In simpler terms, forward vertical integration involves moving closer to the end consumer in the production and distribution process. This can include acquiring retail outlets, distribution channels, or other businesses involved in getting the product or service to the final consumer. 2. Backward vertical integration. Backward vertical integration is a business strategy in which a company expands its operations or control backward along the supply chain by acquiring or merging with businesses involved in the production of inputs or raw materials that are essential for its current operations. In simpler terms, backward vertical integration involves moving closer to the sources of raw materials or components needed for production. Examples of backward vertical integration. 1. Automobile manufacturer acquiring a steel mill. An automobile manufacturer decides to acquire a steel production plant to produce its own steel for car manufacturing. By integrating backwards, the company gains greater control over the quality and supply of steel, reduces costs, and ensures a steady supply of this crucial input. 2. Clothing retailer investing in textile manufacturing. A clothing retailer invests in textile manufacturing facilities to produce fabrics and materials for its clothing lines. By vertically integrating backward into textile production, the retailer can customize designs, ensure consistent quality, and reduce lead times, ultimately enhancing its competitiveness in the fast-paced fashion industry. Question. Outline the steps in strategy evaluation. Effective strategy evaluation is paramount for organizations to ensure their plans remain aligned with objectives and adaptable to changing circumstances. Below are the essential steps in strategy evaluation. 1. Establish the basis of a business strategy. Begin by comprehensively understanding the rationale behind the business strategy. This stage involves examining the underlying basis of a business strategy, current market conditions, and the competitive landscape that influence the strategic choices made. 2. Assess the implementation process. Continuously evaluate the strategy during implementation by looking forward and backwards into the implementation process. This ongoing assessment ensures adaptability and alignment with objectives. 3. Compare the expected performance with the actual performance. Regularly compare expected outcomes defined in the strategy with actual performance. Identify any discrepancies or deviations and delve into the reasons behind them. This stage is crucial for identifying areas of improvement and maintaining strategic alignment. 4. Deviation analysis. Measure the business performance to determine the reasons for deviations and analyze these reasons. Determine whether they are due to internal factors, such as execution issues, or external factors like market changes. Understanding the root causes is vital for effective corrective action. 5. Corrective measures. Based on the analysis, adjust strategies as needed and implement corrective measures. Address performance gaps to realign with objectives and ensure strategic effectiveness. 6. Monitoring and adjustment. Establish specific monitoring times to track progress. Regularly review performance metrics and adjust the course of action if necessary. This continuous monitoring ensures strategic focus and timely adaptation to evolving circumstances. 7. Pros and cons evaluation. Create a strategy pros and cons table to evaluate the benefits and drawbacks of the chosen strategy. This stage informs decision-making and ensures alignment with organizational goals by considering both positive and negative aspects. 8. Defining objectives. Clearly define the desired outcome of the strategy. Establish specific goals or objectives the strategy should achieve to provide clarity and direction for implementation efforts. 9. Impact assessment. Consider the impact of the strategic implementation in the internal and external environments of the business. Understand its implications on resources, stakeholders, and overall organizational health to ensure holistic decision-making and strategic alignment. Read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. Gerald Trading Enterprise, GTE. GTE could not export their products to other countries during the forced lockdown period. Some of their essential employees requested to work from home due to the negative impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Sally manufacturers delayed the distribution of personal protective equipment to GTE. Questions. 1. Quote 3 challenges for GTE from the scenario above. 2. Classify GTE's challenges according to the 3 business environments. 3. State the extent of control GTE has over each business environment named in question 2 above. GTE faces the following challenges according to the scenario above. Challenge 1. GTE could not export their products to other countries during the forced lockdown period. This challenge falls under the macro business environment category because it is influenced by external factors such as government policies, lockdown measures, and global economic conditions. Extent of control. GTE has no control over the external factors causing the lockdown. The decision to close borders and impose restrictions is made by government authorities, and GTE cannot directly influence these decisions. Challenge 2. Some of their essential employees requested to work from home due to the negative impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. This challenge is categorized as both micro and macro business environments. It's micro because it directly affects GTE's internal operations, employee work arrangements, and macro because it is influenced by external factors, the pandemic. GTE has full control over allowing employees to work from home, as it is an internal decision within the company's authority. However, they have no control over the external factor causing this situation, the COVID-19 pandemic. Challenge 3. Sally manufacturers delayed the distribution of personal protective equipment to GTE. This challenge is primarily influenced by market dynamics, as it involves a delay in the supply chain process between GTE and its supplier, Sally manufacturers. GTE has limited control over this situation. While they may have some influence over their supplier relationship and communication, they cannot directly control Sally manufacturers' operational decisions or the reasons behind the delay. They are dependent on the actions and timelines of the supplier. Question. Explain the implications of the following broad-based Black Economic Empowerment Act (BBBEE) pillars for businesses. 1. Management control. The management control pillar of BBBEE underscores the importance of diversity, representation, and empowerment within business leadership structures, and has the following implications for business, as explained below. A. Implementation of transformation at all levels. Businesses must ensure that transformation efforts are pervasive throughout the organizational hierarchy, from entry-level positions to senior management. B. Appointment of Black executives. To comply with BBBEE requirements, businesses need to appoint Black individuals to senior executive and management positions. This ensures representation and participation of historically disadvantaged groups in decision-making roles. C. Involvement of Black individuals in strategic decision-making. The involvement of Black individuals in strategic decision-making processes is crucial for aligning business strategies with broader empowerment objectives and ensuring diverse perspectives are considered. D. Representation of Black females in management. BBBE emphasizes the importance of gender diversity within management structures, particularly the representation of Black females, to promote gender equity and empowerment. E. Selling shares to Black investors. Businesses can score points in the management control pillar by selling a portion of their shares, at least 25%, to Black investors, which can potentially lead to the appointment of Black directors. This promotes economic participation and ownership among Black individuals. F. However, businesses may face difficulties in fulfilling BBBE requirements due to a shortage of skilled Black managers and directors. Furthermore, non-compliance with the management control pillar can result in direct penalties for businesses. 2. Skills development. The skills development pillar of BBBE is not only a legal requirement, but also a strategic imperative for businesses aiming to foster inclusive growth and maximize their human capital potential. The skills development pillar of the BBBE Act has several implications for businesses, as explained below. A. Engagement of Black employees. Businesses are required to actively involve Black employees in skills development initiatives. This means ensuring that opportunities for training and development are accessible to all employees, regardless of race. B. Provision of learnerships or learning programs. Offering learnerships and learning programs specifically targeted at Black employees is essential. These programs aim to enhance the skills and capabilities of Black workers, thereby contributing to their personal and professional development. C. Contribution to Skills Development Fund. Businesses are mandated to allocate 1% of their payroll towards funding skills development programs. This financial contribution helps sustain and expand training initiatives aimed at Black employees. D. Benefiting from skilled workers. By investing in skills development, businesses can benefit from a larger pool of skilled and trained workers. This can lead to improved productivity, efficiency, and innovation within the organization. E. Extra training for staff. In cases where formal learnerships are not available, businesses are expected to go the extra mile to provide training opportunities for their staff. This demonstrates a commitment to skills development even in the absence of structured programs. F. Impact on productivity. The involvement of mentors and coaches in learnerships and training programs may temporarily impact productivity, as these individuals need to allocate time for mentoring and coaching alongside their regular duties. However, the long-term benefits of upskilling employees often outweigh these short-term productivity challenges. G. Strategic advantage. Businesses that effectively implement skills development initiatives gain a strategic advantage by having a more diverse and skilled workforce. This can lead to increased competitiveness, improved reputation, and enhanced opportunities for growth and sustainability. Read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. Cindy Bottle Suppliers, CBS. Martha, an employee at Cindy Bottle Suppliers, was unfairly dismissed for late coming due to road closures because of a service delivery protest. She referred the matter to the Commission for Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration, CCMA, as she was not happy with her dismissal. Question. Identify the act that is applicable to CBS. Motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario above. The applicable act in the above scenario is the Labor Relations Act, LRA. This is due to the fact that Martha, an employee at Cindy Bottle Suppliers, was unfairly dismissed, and she subsequently referred the matter to the Commission for Conciliation, Mediation, and Arbitration, CCMA, because she was not satisfied with her dismissal. The LRA is the primary legislation in South Africa that governs labor relations, including issues such as unfair dismissal and the procedures for resolving disputes between employers and employees. Therefore, based on the scenario provided, the LRA is the relevant act. Question. Explain other actions that could be regarded as discriminatory according to the Labor Relations Act, LRA. Other actions that could be regarded as discriminatory according to the Labor Relations Act, LRA include 1. Preventing employees from joining trade unions. This action is discriminatory because it infringes upon employees' rights to freedom of association and collective bargaining, which are protected under the Labor Relations Act, LRA. Denying employees the opportunity to join trade unions restricts their ability to collectively negotiate for better working conditions, fair wages, and other benefits. 2. Refusing the establishment of workplace forums. Workplace forums provide employees with a platform to engage in meaningful discussions with management regarding workplace issues and decisions that affect them. By refusing to establish such forums, employers deprive employees of a crucial avenue for collective representation and participation in decision-making processes, thus violating their rights under the LRA. 3. Forcing employees to give up trade union membership. Coercing employees into relinquishing their membership in trade unions undermines their right to freedom of association and collective bargaining. It strips them of their ability to collectively advocate for their interests and negotiate with their employer on matters concerning their employment conditions. 4. Not allowing employees to take part in legal strikes or not adhering to the right of employees to strike when legalized. Employees have the right to engage in lawful strikes as a means of collective action to address workplace grievances or disputes. By preventing employees from exercising this right, or failing to respect the legal framework governing strikes, employers violate the LRA's provisions safeguarding employees' rights to engage in protected industrial action. 5. Cancellation of employees' contract by a new employer when a business is sold. This action could be discriminatory if it disproportionately affects certain groups of employees based on their protected characteristics, such as race, gender, or age. If the decision to terminate contracts is motivated by discriminatory reasons rather than legitimate business considerations, it constitutes unfair treatment prohibited by the LRA. 6. Refusing to give workplace forum members time off with pay for attending meetings during working hours. Denying workplace forum members time off with pay for attending meetings undermines the effectiveness of the forum and limits employees' participation in decision-making processes. This refusal constitutes discrimination, as it treats forum members differently from other employees without a justifiable reason. 7. Refusing leave to trade union representatives to attend trade union activities. Trade union representatives play a vital role in advocating for the interests of union members and facilitating communication between the union and its members. By denying leave to trade union representatives to engage in union activities, employers impede the functioning of the union and obstruct employees' right to effective representation, contravening the LRA. 8. Breaching of collective agreements or resolution mechanisms by employer-employee. Collective agreements are legally binding contracts that establish terms and conditions of employment negotiated between employers and trade unions or employee representatives. Breaching these agreements by either party undermines the stability and trust within the employment relationship and violates the LIA's provisions aimed at promoting collective bargaining and dispute resolution mechanisms. Question: recommend ways in which businesses could deal with challenges that are posed by the following PESEL factors. 1. Technological. Businesses can deal with technological challenges in the following ways. A. Continuous research on the latest available technology, equipment in the market. Businesses should regularly invest time and resources into researching the latest advancements in technology and equipment relevant to their industry. This ensures that they stay abreast of new developments and can identify opportunities to improve efficiency, productivity, and competitiveness. B. Train existing and appoint new employees to maintain, use new equipment. It's crucial for businesses to provide training and development opportunities for their existing employees to familiarize them with the operation and maintenance of new technology and equipment. Additionally, hiring new employees with specialized skills in using advanced technology can complement existing teams and ensure effective utilization of resources. C. Compare prices or select suitable suppliers for new equipment at reasonable prices. When acquiring new technology or equipment, businesses should carefully evaluate different suppliers to ensure they are getting the best value for their investment. This involves comparing prices, assessing the quality and reliability of the products, as well as considering factors such as after-sales support and warranties to make informed procurement decisions. D. Businesses must be geared for online trading and e-commerce. With the increasing importance of digital channels in today's business landscape, it's essential for businesses to establish a strong online presence and embrace e-commerce capabilities. This includes developing user-friendly websites, optimizing for mobile devices, and implementing secure payment systems to facilitate online transactions. Being digitally savvy enables businesses to reach a broader audience, enhance customer convenience, and drive revenue growth. In addition to the above strategies, businesses can also mitigate technological challenges by fostering a culture of innovation and experimentation within their organization. Encouraging employees to explore new ideas, experiment with emerging technologies, and embrace a mindset of continuous improvement can help businesses stay ahead of the curve and adapt to technological changes more effectively. Furthermore, forming strategic partnerships or collaborations with technology providers, research institutions, or industry peers can provide businesses with access to expertise, resources, and networks that support innovation and technological advancement. 2. Environmental. Businesses can deal with environmental challenges in the following ways. A. Clear labeling. Chemicals or ingredients should be clearly indicated on labels, packaging to inform customers about possible side effects. A correct use of products. By clearly labeling products with their ingredients and any potential side effects, businesses can promote transparency and help consumers make informed choices. This not only enhances consumer trust, but also demonstrates a commitment to safety and responsible product stewardship. B. Implement cost-effective measures to dispose of waste. Businesses, especially those in the healthcare industry, should prioritize the proper disposal of medical waste to minimize environmental impact and comply with regulations. Implementing cost-effective measures such as waste segregation, sterilization, and safe disposal methods can help mitigate the environmental risks associated with medical waste generation. C. Implement recycling measures to prevent pollution of the environment. Businesses can contribute to environmental sustainability by implementing recycling measures and utilizing packaging materials that are reusable or recyclable. This includes reducing the use of single-use plastics, opting for eco-friendly packaging alternatives, and implementing recycling programs within their operations. By embracing sustainable packaging practices, businesses can minimize their carbon footprint and reduce the amount of waste sent to landfills. In addition to the mentioned strategies, businesses can further address environmental challenges by adopting renewable energy sources, such as solar or wind power, to reduce their reliance on fossil fuels and mitigate greenhouse gas emissions. Furthermore, implementing energy-efficient practices, such as upgrading equipment and optimizing energy usage, can help businesses reduce their environmental footprint while also saving on operational costs. Additionally, businesses can engage in environmental stewardship initiatives, such as tree planting programs or community cleanup events, to demonstrate their commitment to environmental responsibility and engage with local communities. Question: name any provisions of leave as stipulated in the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, BCEA, 1997, Act 75 of 1997. 1. Annual leave. The BCEA entitles employees to a certain number of days of paid leave each year, typically at least 21 consecutive days, for a full-time employee who works a standard 5-day week. This leave allows employees to take time off for rest, relaxation, and personal activities. 2. Sick leave. Employees are entitled to paid sick leave when they are unable to work due to illness or injury. The BCEA outlines the conditions under which sick leave can be taken, the duration of such leave, and the requirements for providing medical documentation. 3. Maternity leave. Pregnant employees are entitled to maternity leave, which allows them to take time off work to give birth and recover. The BCEA provides for a minimum period of maternity leave, usually 4 consecutive months, during which the employee is entitled to full pay. 4. Parental leave. Both male and female employees are entitled to parental leave to care for a newborn child or an adopted child. The BCEA grants a certain number of days of unpaid parental leave, allowing parents to bond with their child during the early stages of life. 5. Family responsibility leave. This provision allows employees to take a limited amount of paid leave to attend to certain family responsibilities, such as caring for a sick child or attending to a family member's illness or death. Question: outline the rights of employees in terms of the Labor Relations Act, LRA, 1995, Act 66 of 1995. The Labor Relations Act, LRA, of 1995, Act 66 of 1995, stands as a cornerstone of South African labour law, outlining the rights and responsibilities of both employers and employees within the workplace, as outlined below. 1. Freedom of association. Employees have the right to join a trade union of their choice without fear of discrimination or victimization. 2. Right to strike. Employees can legally embark on strikes as a means to address grievances or disputes with their employer, provided certain procedures are followed. 3. Access to dispute resolution mechanisms. Employees have the right to refer unresolved workplace disputes to the Commission for Conciliation, Mediation, and Arbitration, CCMA, for resolution. 4. Access to legal remedies. If disputes remain unresolved after CCMA intervention, employees have the right to refer the matter to the Labour Court for adjudication and resolution. 5. Representation in grievance or disciplinary hearings. Employees have the right to request trade union representatives to assist or represent them in grievance and disciplinary hearings, ensuring fair treatment. 6. Trade union representation and activities. Trade union representatives are entitled to reasonable time off with pay to attend to trade union duties, ensuring effective representation of employee interests. Question: identify the PESEL elements that pose a challenge to Berry Farm in each of the following statements. 1. Employees are unable to operate the modern machinery that has been purchased recently. The challenge of employees being unable to operate modern machinery relates primarily to the technological aspect. This reflects a gap in the workforce's skills or training to effectively utilize the advanced equipment, impacting operational efficiency and productivity. 2. Management received a fine for dumping their waste material in the river. The issue of receiving a fine for dumping waste material in the river pertains to the environmental factor. This indicates a failure to adhere to environmental regulations, which can lead to legal consequences, damage to the company's reputation, and potential harm to the environment. 3. Berry Farm can no longer export their products due to the unfavorable exchange rate. The challenge of being unable to export products due to an unfavorable exchange rate is attributed to the economic element. Fluctuations in exchange rates can significantly impact the competitiveness of products in international markets, affecting revenue streams and profitability. In this case, the unfavorable exchange rate undermines Berry Farm's ability to engage in international trade effectively. Question: explain the purpose of the Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Diseases Amendment Act (COIDA) 1997, Act 61 of 1997. The Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Diseases Amendment Act (COIDA) 1997, Act 61 of 1997, serves several critical purposes, as stated below. 1. Comprehensive protection. COIDA ensures comprehensive protection for employees who suffer injuries or contract diseases while carrying out their work duties. 2. Applicability. It applies to all types of workers, including casual and full-time employees, who experience illness, injury, disability, or death due to workplace accidents or diseases. 3. Exclusions. Certain categories of workers are excluded from COIDA coverage, such as those guilty of willful misconduct, workers employed outside South Africa for at least 12 months, and members of the South African Defence Force or police services. 4. Establishment of Compensation Board. The Act establishes a compensation board tasked with advising the Minister of Labour on the application and provisions of COIDA, ensuring effective implementation and adherence. 5. Medical expenses and compensation. COIDA provides for the payment of medical expenses and various types of compensation to affected employees or their families, depending on the type and severity of the injury sustained. 6. Employer obligations. Employers are required to contribute a monthly amount to the compensation fund, the level of which is determined by factors such as the number of employees and the level of risk they are exposed to in the workplace. 7. Compensation for injuries and death. Importantly, COIDA ensures that employees and their families receive compensation for injuries or death sustained while carrying out their work duties, providing financial support and assistance during challenging times. Read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. Moneybank, MB. Moneybank charges the same interest rates regardless of the client's level of income. The National Credit Regulator, NCR, imposed a fine on Moneybank for reckless granting of credit. MB was instructed to bear all the costs related to the removal of the names of blacklisted clients from the credit bureau. Question: quote 2 penalties imposed on MB for non-compliance with the National Credit Act (NCA) 2005, Act 34 of 2005, from the scenario above. 1. Fine for reckless granting of credit. The National Credit Regulator, NCR, imposed a fine on Moneybank for reckless granting of credit. This means that Moneybank did not adhere to the responsible lending practices outlined in the NCA, resulting in the imposition of a financial penalty. 2. Costs related to the removal of blacklisted clients from the credit bureau. Moneybank was instructed to bear all the costs related to the removal of the names of blacklisted clients from the credit bureau. This indicates that Moneybank may have engaged in practices that led to clients being unfairly blacklisted or negatively affected in credit reports, hence it was compelled to incur the expense of rectifying this situation as part of the penalty for non-compliance with the NCA. Question: describe the positive impact of the National Credit Act on businesses. The National Credit Act, NCA, has several positive impacts on businesses as outlined below. 1. Transparency in the credit process. Both businesses and customers understand their responsibilities clearly, making the credit process transparent. 2. Lower bad debts. This results in better cash flow for businesses, as they experience fewer losses from non-payment. 3. Protection against non-paying consumers. The NCA safeguards businesses from consumers who fail to repay debts, reducing financial risk. 4. Increased cash sales. Businesses grant credit only to qualifying customers, leading to more cash sales. This ensures a more stable revenue stream. 5. Prevention of bankruptcy. By curbing reckless lending, the NCA helps prevent businesses from facing financial ruin. 6. Access to credit bureau information. Businesses can check the creditworthiness of consumers before extending credit, minimizing the risk of defaults. 7. Thorough credit checks. Businesses conduct comprehensive credit checks and receive up-to-date documentation from consumers, ensuring their ability to repay debts. 8. Attracting more customers. The protection provided by the NCA encourages more customers to engage in credit sales, expanding the customer base and increasing revenue opportunities. Questions. Discuss any two types of defensive strategies. The following defensive strategies are employed by companies facing challenges, such as declining profitability, excessive debt, or economic downturns to protect their financial health and preserve stakeholder value. 1. Divestiture. Divestiture, or divestment, is a strategic option companies employ to optimize their business portfolio by disposing of assets, divisions, or subsidiaries that are no longer aligned with their strategic objectives or are underperforming. It includes A. Disposing or selling some assets or divisions or departments that are no longer profitable or productive. This strategy involves identifying and selling off parts of the business that are underperforming or no longer align with the company's strategic goals. By divesting these assets, the company can free up resources and focus on core areas of strength. B. Selling off divisions or product lines with slow growth potential. Divesting slow growth divisions or product lines allows the company to reallocate resources to areas with higher growth potential. This can improve overall profitability and streamline operations. C. Decreasing the number of shareholders by selling ownership. By selling ownership stakes to reduce the number of shareholders, the company can potentially decrease the pressure for short-term results and focus on long-term strategic initiatives without constant shareholder scrutiny. D. Paying off debts by selling unproductive assets. Selling unproductive assets can generate funds to pay off debts, reducing financial burdens and improving the company's financial health. E. Withdrawing their investment share in another business, divesting. If a company has investments in other businesses that are no longer aligned with its strategic objectives or are underperforming, divesting those investments can free up capital and resources for other purposes. 2. Liquidation. Liquidation involves selling off all assets to pay creditors. This is often a last resort when other restructuring options have been exhausted. It can take place in the following ways. A. Selling the entire business in order to pay shareholders a fair price for their shares. In cases where the business is unable to continue operating profitably, selling the entire business may be the best option to maximize value for shareholders. This typically occurs through a sale to another company or investor. B. Allowing creditors to apply for forced liquidation to have their claims settled. If creditors initiate legal action due to unpaid debts, a company may be forced into liquidation by court order. This process involves selling assets to settle creditor claims according to a predetermined hierarchy. C. Business rescue to avoid liquidation. In some cases of financial distress, companies may opt for business rescue procedures to avoid liquidation. This involves restructuring operations and renegotiating debts to achieve financial stability and continue operating as a going concern. 3. Retrenchment. Retrenchment is a strategic defensive strategy aimed at reducing costs, optimizing operations, and ensuring the long-term sustainability of the company. It includes A. Terminating employment contracts for operational reasons. Retrenchment often involves the termination of employment contracts for operational reasons, such as restructuring, downsizing, or changes in business priorities. This may result from declining profitability, changes in market conditions, technological advancements, or strategic realignment. By reducing the workforce, companies aim to align their staffing levels with current business needs and optimize resource utilization. B. Decreasing the number of product lines or closing certain departments. Another aspect of retrenchment involves reducing the number of product lines or closing certain departments that are no longer economically viable or aligned with the company's strategic objectives. This may result in some workers becoming redundant as their roles become obsolete or no longer necessary. By eliminating underperforming or non-core product lines and departments, companies can focus on core areas of strength and allocate resources more efficiently. C. Optimizing organizational structure and cost structure. Retrenchment may also involve restructuring the organizational and cost structures of the company to improve competitiveness and profitability. This could include centralizing operations, consolidating functions, outsourcing non-core activities, or implementing cost-saving measures. By streamlining operations and eliminating inefficiencies, companies can reduce overhead costs and enhance overall operational effectiveness. D. Mitigating financial challenges and preserving long-term viability. Retrenchment is often undertaken as a defensive measure to address financial challenges, stabilize the company's financial position, and preserve its long-term viability. By proactively adjusting staffing levels, product offerings, and operational processes, companies can adapt to changing market conditions and mitigate the impact of economic downturns or other external factors. E. Minimizing disruptions and maintaining employee morale. While retrenchment involves workforce reductions and organizational changes, companies strive to minimize disruptions and maintain employee morale throughout the process. Effective communication, fair treatment of affected employees, and providing support services, such as outplacement assistance, can help mitigate the negative impact on employees and foster a sense of trust and loyalty among the remaining staff. Question. Suggest ways in which businesses could comply with the Consumer Protection Act (CPA) 2008, Act 68 of 2008. Here are several ways in which businesses can comply with the Consumer Protection Act (CPA) 2008. 1. Disclose prices of all products on sale. Businesses should ensure transparent pricing by clearly displaying the prices of all products and services offered for sale. This helps consumers make informed purchasing decisions and prevents misleading pricing practices. 2. Provide adequate training to staff on the CPA. Training employees on the provisions of the Consumer Protection Act ensures that they understand their responsibilities and obligations towards consumers. This includes handling complaints, adhering to consumer rights, and maintaining compliance with the law. 3. All agreements must provide for a 5-day cooling-off period. Businesses should include provisions for a cooling-off period in their agreements with consumers. This allows consumers to cancel contracts within a specified timeframe without penalty, providing them with an opportunity to reconsider their purchases. 4. Ensure that goods or services offered are standardized or of the same quality. Businesses must ensure that the quality and standardization of goods and services meet the expectations of consumers as outlined in the CPA. This includes providing products that are safe, durable, and fit for their intended purpose. 5. Comply with the requirements regarding promotional competitions. Businesses must adhere to the regulations governing promotional competitions, including ensuring transparency, fairness, and compliance with price disclosure requirements. This helps to prevent deceptive or unfair trade practices. 6. Comply with requirements regarding the display of information on labels or packaging. Businesses should accurately label products with essential information such as ingredients, expiration dates, and usage instructions. Clear and legible labeling ensures that consumers can make informed decisions and promotes product safety. 7. Display the name of the business on all business documents. Include the name of the business on all official documents such as invoices, contracts, and receipts to help consumers identify the seller in case of disputes or complaints. 8. Bundling of goods or services should benefit consumers. When bundling products or services, for example when offering a cell phone and a tablet at a special price, businesses should ensure that the bundled offers provide tangible benefits to consumers, such as cost savings or added value. This prevents deceptive bundling practices that may mislead consumers. 9. Implement measures that will facilitate complaints. Businesses should establish accessible channels for consumers to lodge complaints, provide feedback, or seek assistance. For example, implementing suggestion boxes, customer service hotlines, or online complaint forms encourages transparency and responsiveness to consumer concerns. 10. Adopting ethical business practices and ethical advertising. Businesses should refrain from engaging in deceptive, misleading, or unfair advertising practices. Adherence to ethical standards promotes consumer trust and confidence in the brand, leading to long-term relationships and repeat business. Question. State any 4 provisions of the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, BCEA, 1997, Act 75 of 1997. 1. Regulation of working time. This provision outlines the rules regarding the hours of work that an employee is expected to adhere to, including standard working hours, ordinary hours, rules for overtime work, provisions for meal intervals and rest periods to ensure employees have adequate breaks during their shifts, regulations for working on Sundays, and guidelines for public holiday work. These regulations aim to ensure that employees are not overworked, receive appropriate breaks, and are fairly compensated for additional hours worked. 2. Leave entitlements. This provision specifies the various types of leave that employees are entitled to, including annual leave, paid vacation time, sick leave, paid time off for illness or injury, family responsibility leave, paid time off to attend to certain family-related matters, maternity leave, paid time off for mothers before and after childbirth, paternity leave, paid time off for fathers around the time of childbirth, and parental leave, paid time off for parents to care for a newborn or adopted child. These entitlements aim to provide employees with necessary time off for personal and family needs while still receiving their regular pay. 3. Particulars of employment and remuneration. This provision requires employers to provide employees with written details of their employment agreements, including terms and conditions of employment, job duties, working hours, and details of remuneration, wages or salary. By providing clear documentation of the employment relationship, both employers and employees have a clear understanding of their rights and responsibilities. 4. Termination of employment. This provision outlines the procedures and requirements for ending the employment relationship, both from the perspective of the employer and the employee. It includes rules for notice periods, severance pay, and the reasons for termination. These regulations aim to ensure that terminations are carried out fairly and legally, protecting the rights of both parties involved. 5. Prohibition of employment of children and forced labor. The BCEA prohibits the employment of children under a certain age and regulates the employment of young workers to protect their rights and ensure their education and development are not compromised. Additionally, it prohibits forced labor, ensuring that all work is voluntary and conducted under fair and just conditions. Question. Elaborate on the meaning of learnerships. A learnership is a mutually beneficial agreement between a learner or trainee and either an employer or a training provider. In this setup, the workplace doubles as a place of learning, blending theory with practical experience leading to an occupational qualification. The program follows a structured learning approach and is completed during work hours for a specified period of time. Upon completion, it may include employment for a given period. Read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. Remy Traders, RT. Remy Traders are well known for selling quality products to different outlets. They introduced online transactions for their remote customers. RT's employees do not have the knowledge and skills to provide online transaction services. Question. Name the pestle factor that poses a challenge to RT in the scenario above. In the scenario described, the pestle factor that poses a challenge to RT is technological. The challenge arises from the lack of knowledge and skills among RT's employees to provide online transaction services, indicating a gap in technological capabilities. Question. Explain ways in which RT can deal with the challenges posed by the pestle factor. Here's how RT can deal with the challenges posed by the technological factor. 1. Continuous research on latest technology and equipment. RT should conduct continuous research to stay updated on the latest available technology and equipment in the market. This ensures they are aware of advancements that can enhance their online transaction services. 2. Employee training and recruitment. RT should invest in training existing employees or appointing new ones who possess the necessary knowledge and skills to maintain and use new equipment. Providing employees with adequate training ensures they can effectively provide online transaction services. 3. Comparing prices and selecting suitable suppliers. RT should compare prices from different suppliers and select those offering new equipment at reasonable prices. This helps them acquire the necessary technology without overspending, maximizing their resources. 4. Adapting to online trading, e-commerce. RT must gear their business operations towards online trading and e-commerce. This involves developing or enhancing their online platform, ensuring it is user-friendly and secure for conducting transactions. By embracing online trading, RT can reach a wider customer base and adapt to changing consumer preferences. Question. Describe how SETAs are funded. SETAs, or Sector Education and Training Authorities, derive their funding from a variety of sources. One primary source is the Skills Development Levies, SDL, which mandates that employers pay a percentage of their annual salary bill exceeding 500,000 rands as a levy to the South African Revenue Service, acting as a collecting agency for the government. This levy, constituting 1% of annual salaries, stands as a significant financial pillar for SETAs. Further funding for SETAs comes from the allocation of levy funds. Upon collection, 80% of the levy is directed to the respective SETAs, earmarked to cover their organizational expenses and facilitate operational functions. The remaining 20% is channeled into the National Skills Fund, supporting broader skills development initiatives at the national level. Additionally, SETAs receive financial backing through donations and grants from various quarters, including the public, businesses, and corporate social investment (CSI) programs. These contributions bolster SETAs' resources, enabling them to expand their initiatives in skills development. Surplus funds from government institutions also contribute to SETAs' financial pool. These surplus funds, originating from various government sources, are redirected to support skills development efforts undertaken by SETAs, enhancing their capacity to address sector-specific needs. SETAs also generate revenue through the provision of services such as training programs, assessments, and certifications to employers, individuals, and organizations. Fees charged for these services bolster SETAs' financial sustainability, allowing them to fulfill their mandate of promoting skills development within specific sectors of the economy while maintaining operational efficiency. Question. Discuss the positive impact of the Employment Equity Act, EEA, 1998, Act 55 of 1998, on businesses. The Employment Equity Act, EEA, 1998, has ushered in several positive impacts on businesses. 1. Encourages consultation between employer and employees. The Act fosters a culture of communication and collaboration, ensuring that both parties are involved in decision-making processes, leading to better understanding and alignment within the organization. 2. Promotes equal opportunity and fair treatment in the workplace. By mandating fair treatment and equal opportunities for all employees, the EEA creates a more inclusive and supportive work environment, enhancing employee morale and productivity. 3. Impacts positively on BEE ratings for businesses. Compliance with the EEA contributes to improved broad-based Black economic empowerment (BBBEE) ratings, enhancing the company's reputation and competitiveness in the market. 4. Appointment process is clearly defined. The Act provides clarity in the appointment process, ensuring transparency and fairness for all parties involved, thereby minimizing disputes and legal challenges. 5. Motivates employees because the workforce is more diverse, representative, inclusive. A diverse workforce not only fosters innovation and creativity, but also reflects the broader society, promoting a sense of belonging and motivation among employees. 6. Motivates employees because everyone has the same employment opportunities. Equal employment opportunities based on merit rather than factors like race or gender motivate employees to perform their best, knowing they have a fair chance to succeed. 7. Promotes the implementation of affirmative action measures to redress imbalances in employment. By actively addressing historical inequalities, the EEA helps create a more equitable society and workforce, leading to long-term socioeconomic benefits. 8. Provides employees with legal recourse if they have been unfairly discriminated against. The Act empowers employees to seek legal remedies in cases of discrimination, ensuring their rights are protected and promoting a culture of accountability within organizations. 9. Provides all employees with an equal opportunity to be selected, appointed, or promoted in a position. Merit-based selection processes ensure that individuals are evaluated based on their skills and qualifications, fostering a meritocratic work culture. 10. Prevents unfair discrimination, as it ensures that the workforce represents the demographics of the country. By mandating representation reflective of the country's demographics, the EEA guards against discriminatory practices, promoting social cohesion and equality. 11. Creates a framework of acceptable employment practices or affirmative action measures. The Act provides guidelines and standards for businesses to follow, promoting consistency and fairness in employment practices. 12. Encourages diversity in business by employing people from various racial backgrounds. Diversity not only enriches the workplace environment, but also brings different perspectives and approaches, leading to better decision-making and problem-solving. 13. Businesses are in a better position to negotiate contracts with the government. Compliance with the EEA enhances the company's reputation and credibility, increasing its attractiveness as a business partner, especially in government contracts and tenders. Read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. James Engineers, JE. James Engineers are responsible for inspecting housing projects. The management of JE set specific dates for control and follow-up as part of their inspection program. They also implement corrective actions when deviations occur. Question. Quote 2 steps in strategy evaluation implemented by JE from the scenario above. The 2 steps in strategy evaluation implemented by JE are: 1. Setting specific dates for control and follow-up. JE management establishes specific dates for control and follow-up as part of their inspection program. By setting these dates, JE can regularly review their performance against predetermined objectives and make necessary adjustments to stay on track. 2. Implementing corrective actions for deviations. JE not only sets dates for control and follow-up, but also implements corrective actions when deviations occur. By promptly addressing deviations, JE can prevent minor issues from escalating into larger problems that could jeopardize the success of their strategies. Question. Advise businesses on how they could apply the following forces of the Porter's 5 forces model to analyze their position in the market environment. A. Power of suppliers. Businesses can apply the power of suppliers force of Porter's 5 forces model to analyze their market position by considering the following points. 1. Quality of products. Evaluate the quality of products provided by suppliers. Suppliers offering high-quality products may wield more power over the business, as they provide goods that are crucial to maintaining the business's reputation and meeting customer expectations. 2. Influence on prices. Assess the extent to which suppliers can influence prices. If suppliers have significant control over pricing, they hold considerable power in the market, potentially impacting the business's profitability. 3. Degree of control. Recognize that the more powerful the suppliers are, the less control the business has over them. Understanding the power dynamics between the business and its suppliers is essential for strategic decision-making and negotiating favorable terms. 4. Supplier concentration. Consider the number of suppliers available in the market. In situations where there are fewer suppliers, each supplier may hold more power due to limited alternatives. This can lead to higher dependency on specific suppliers and vulnerability to their actions. 5. Quality of services and reliability. Evaluate suppliers not only based on the quality of their products, but also on the reliability of their services and their ability to make prompt deliveries. Suppliers who consistently meet deadlines and provide reliable services can significantly impact the business's operations and customer satisfaction levels. B. Power of competitors, a competitive rivalry. In analyzing their position in the market environment using Porter's 5 forces model, businesses can focus on the power of competitors, a competitive rivalry, to gain insights into their competitive landscape. As explained below. 1. Assess impact of competitors with similar products or services. Businesses should identify competitors offering similar products or services and assess their impact on the market. Understanding the strength of competition and their market share helps in gauging the intensity of rivalry. 2. Evaluate uniqueness of competitors' offerings. Competitors with unique or differentiated products, services often wield greater power in the market. Businesses need to identify such competitors and evaluate the extent to which their offerings resonate with customers and differentiate them from the competition. 3. Consider market crowdedness. If a market is saturated with numerous competitors offering similar products or services, businesses may face intense competition and have little power to influence market dynamics. It's essential for businesses to assess the degree of market crowding to understand their relative position. 4. Anticipate potential price wars. Some competitors may have the financial resources to initiate price wars, where they aggressively lower prices to gain market share. Businesses should anticipate such scenarios and evaluate their own financial capability to withstand price pressures and retain market share. 5. Analyze competitors' pricing and marketing strategies. Competitors employing diverse pricing and marketing strategies can exert significant influence over the market. By analyzing competitors' strategies, businesses can gain insights into prevailing market dynamics and adjust their own strategies accordingly to remain competitive.
To access more learning and exam preparation materials, go to www.acemyexams.coza. This link is also in the video description below. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to subscribe and be the first to know when we upload new videos.